Beautiful souls. Coach K here, Self-Ease Solutions. Talking about words to avoid using, or at least reduce the usage of. And I have been repeatedly encouraging people to reduce the use of these following words, phrases. Just, can't, should, shouldn't, have to, oh, and never. I'm going to add never to that as well. Why just? Just minimizes what you're going to say after that. Sometimes it is used to minimize someone's feelings, not very kind. Sometimes it's used to minimize, or I'm going to say reject a compliment. So someone says, hey, that's a nice dress or nice accessory. And you're like, oh, it's just a cheap old thing, or it's, minimizing it. Oh, it's just like $10 or whatever. You're receiving a compliment. How about thank you? Take it. Let's not minimize it. You receiving with grace is an act of love towards yourself. Never. I put that one in there because it's very, very rigid. If we are to walk through life with a rigid mindset, we wouldn't get very far. So when we say never, what we are connecting to is a lot of old belief patterns or beliefs that have been programmed to us or given to us by society, by our parents, and also from trauma or fear. An example is, I'll never stay with someone who cheats on me. Are you sure? Right? And maybe that's because it's connected to guilt or shame or respect or not being in that situation. So just based on what you think around infidelity, that's what you're saying. Now, I've seen many couples who come in because of infidelity and they end up being stronger and strengthened because of it, or at least knowing themselves more, regardless of what happens. So when we say never, we're restricting ourselves from a potential experience. Now, I'm saying reduce and avoid. I'm not saying don't use these words, because there may be some times where you will stick to your values. And especially for me, if it's got anything to do with a minor, that never's coming into play, right? So really we're reducing and avoiding. There's moments where we can consciously check in. We check in with our body. If we say a word and our body is contracted, that is a sign, that's a signal to let us know that whatever we said was not high vibrational and our body doesn't like it. Our body, aka our spiritual voice, right? Our soul doesn't like what was just said, or the energy and the frequency of what was said, or what was received also too. So we have the shoulds and the shouldn'ts, cognitive distortions, unhelpful thinking styles, when we should and shouldn't ourselves, and we should and shouldn't other people. Feel it, like try it now. Oh, I should get to the bank. I should go shopping. Oh, I should get this done. There is a contraction in the body when you say that word. If you tried it, you must have felt it. Now, it doesn't mean, no, actually, you know what, with should and shouldn'ts, I straight up say 99.9% of the time, please try not to use it. And it's important to say, well, what can I say instead? Say something instead that checks in and aligns with your beliefs and values, not society's, not your parents, not your teachers, not anyone else's, right? I want to, I would like to, I'm choosing to use those instead. And also have to, that's a big one. When someone tells you have to do something, that can trigger some people. Even yourself, when you tell yourself you have to. No one has to do anything. We have free will, we have choice. This is a human experience. The fact that we have the free will and we have the conscious ability to make choices, right, means have to, it's contracting. Now, is there reactions? Actions cause reactions, reactions cause reactions to reactions, and consequences. Absolutely. There is a consequence to an action and an inaction. There's consequences. So after you analyze that for a moment, know that you are then in control. Depending on what you do next, depending on what you say next, there's going to be a consequence. So own it. So instead of I have to, I want to, I choose to. You know what? I'm going to do X, Y, Z. And by the same token, when you are speaking to others, when you say, oh, you have to do this. Actually, no, they don't. But let them know the consequence, especially when it is your children and it's a teaching moment. Let them know the consequence. But hey, if you do this, this may or may not happen. Are you okay with that? Teaching moment instead of a telling or commanding moment, that can change the game in conversations when it comes to communication with your loved ones, with your children, with your co-workers, your employees. So yeah, the just, the nevers, the shoulds, the shouldn'ts, can't, and the have to's. The can't is pretty self-explanatory. I think that would be the one that most people will instantly accept, that it's a low vibrational or potentially a negative or constricting word. When you say can't, your mind connects to that and disables you. Your body, remember, your soul is powering your body, right? As well as the nutrition. But there is a power in the heart space. And science has proven that it is 10,000 more times powerful than the mind. There's a power in here. When we connect to that, and anytime we have can't, it's a false belief. It's a belief that we are not able to do something. Within reason, there's a lot of things that we can do that we think we can't. I don't know about you, but if you've ever done a spin class or a run or a cycle or cycle is spin class, something where you've been going, and your mind tells you, stop now, you're done, enough, wall. But then you connect to something in here and you keep going, That is where you, as a spiritual being, you connect to that power within and you override what your mind is saying to you. And yes, there's another body or school of thought that will come and tell you about your mind and it being all powerful. But I tell you something, there's nothing more powerful than the soul and the connection to that energy. Yes, we need the mind, we need to use it, absolutely. But let us be in control of it and not it be in control of us. All right, so I hope that was really helpful. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, and which words you find it harder to switch and change out, and share with the community and myself. I'd love to know. Personally, have to was the more powerful one. When I connected to that and I was like, oof, yeah, I don't have to. It felt really good and I felt empowered. Again, knowing still that there were consequences, but knowing that I was in control and remembering that I was in control of that, right? Because so many times in life we walk around and we feel like we're not in control of things. We're incapacitated, we're powerless. And so let us focus on what we can control. It's ourselves, our emotions, changing our words and the vibrations that we are in. And we can start with a few simple word changes, switches, reduction. Coach K saying goodbye for now. See you in another video. Have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, night. Peace and blessings.